Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is a before and after guest video from Demolition Hound in the Hyaku Shiki Kai ground type. That got buffed last month. I meant to get this up before the new buffs came out, but didn't, so here we go. Among the other things they did, its beam cannons now have piercing, and there's a bunch of other decent buffs as well, so as usual, I'll get into that at the end of the round, but they definitely gave it a good overhaul. It's funny, though, just thinking about it. Maelstrom was saying for a long time Mudrock needed a buff, which it did, because Hyaku Shiki Kai ground type at the upper costs pretty much occupied the same niche and was definitely superior. And when Mudrock finally got buffed a few months ago, it was like, hey, finally they're about equal, if not Mudrock pulling ahead. Now the ground type's been buffed, so I'll be interested to see how that matchup goes now. But yeah, let's see. So far so good. Demo's definitely taking some good opportunities. And oh geez, there are two Gelgug Vertex Kyanos here. One on the allied team, one on the enemy team. And they both came around the corner. That did not work out quite, but that's just funny. Let's see. So far, so good, and yeah, 6.5 minutes to go. A fair lead, but probably that's going to even out because there's only two people on the field and they're both low on health. So I have a feeling the scores are going to be about even up in a moment. We will see what happens. But Demo is back. That is, I think that's a superior Gundam, yeah. Which, of course, is a raid with a whole bunch of fun skills. I believe it has both heavy attack and aerial melee, and just, yeah, and flap booster. So, yeah, it can be a problem. Luckily, at the moment, it's someone else's problem. So, Demo can be hanging back and hitting things. The S Gundam, however, did not get that memo, and now it is, coming in. Let's see. And Kyanos moved in, so Demo got a shot around it without any trouble. That's great. And I am oh well, just another foggy brain day. I think I mentioned before. Turns out that's something my medication can do, but it sure beats not having it. So other than that, I've been messing with G Generation Eternal. I managed to completely clear First Gundam and Zeta Gundam, even the hard mode stages, so that is pretty nice. And I am, however, working my way through Double Zeta, and I'm finally reaching some stages that Axe Murderer Machu cannot handle on her own, so well, I'm not sending her out completely solo, but it's like, yeah, chance step your way up to the boss, take them out, and the rest is fairly easy. Yeah, there's been places where it takes significantly more effort than that to get the boss down now, so I'll have to level some people some more. Yeah, the Hyaku Shiki Kai ground type here, definitely good at just, the continuous damage thing. It has a lot of weapons to swap between, and, eventually you reach points of downtime, but overall it can just kind of keep going. Yeah, as opposed to a grenade launcher, its beam rifle has a railgun attached, which is kind of a weird choice. I'm not sure if that pierces or not, since every other railgun in the game does. I'm thinking it probably does, but I can't remember. Hopefully we will find out one way or another as we go. But if not, again, after the buff, the beam cannons do pierce, so that's something. Let's see, yeah, and yeah, I'm kind of surprised they managed to maintain the lead so far. So that is the good news. Oh yeah, and Atlas, that got buffed this month along with the Bianca version, which, yeah, they have put improved stun reduction on its binders, which is good because, just having an entire garage door on either side of the suit to hit and stun does not do it many favors at all. And it's not like the G doors where they get, where they're behind you. They are literally out to the sides, just expanding your hitbox for little to no benefit. So Yeah, I'm glad they've put some improved defenses on those. I'm gonna have to try and take that out again because I kind of liked it, but yeah, it is just it is a rough suit to use, or was. We'll see how that turns out now. But let's see, that is the whole enemy team. I have been there. I've been there this evening doing my dailies. So yeah, I'd heard that the Pale Rider can be the. I'm assuming Pale Rider ground heavy arms can be a pretty good foil for the Red Gundam. But not only was it not a good, not only was there not a Red Gundam to fight in the round I tried using it in, it was not a good foil for particularly anything else there at 500. So yeah, I did not. I got absolutely just bounced around in that one, but had some better rounds later on, so no complaints. Well, I just finished complaining, so some complaints, but not particularly important or long-lasting ones. 2 minutes left. Enemy team is. I think it's actually about the same distance between scores. It just looks like less because the numbers have gotten large. But either way, Demo's team's still in the lead. Some nice missiles going out there. Good shot. And yeah, like I said, just weapons everywhere, and just the ability to just keep shooting. Which yeah, that is there are some supports that can just do like pinpoint damage with one or two weapons, but sometimes you just need to fire the everything. And this is a suit that is good at firing the everything. And let's see, yeah. Okay, yeah, now the lead is expanding. Now they're up 15-10. That's definitely good. Looks like, yeah, they are all kind of swarming the enemy's checkpoint here, waiting for respawns. The respawns have been coordinated, so yeah, like that's about the only thing you can do when you are down this much with a minute to go. You have to all try and bring it together and focus the enemy down. Like if I were the enemy and I could see all the life bars, I'd be trying to go for that Zaku 4 like immediately. And there it goes. And then, actually everybody's about even at this point. So, yeah, probably the Atlas first because it is, again, a large target up in the air where everybody can see. But, yeah, they're doing a pretty good job of mop-up here, but just going by the scores, I don't think they have time to really turn this around. Especially since, yeah, Demo just took one of them out, and yeah, the lead is expanding. So, let's see, that is. Let's see, they managed to stun lock him before time ran out, but they did not have time to take him out because they were kind of bouncing off of each other melee wise there. So, yeah, that was a good one. And let's take a look at stats. 116,000 damage and top diversions. And let's take a look at the rest of it. 5 and 2, not bad at all. So, all right, now we will see what it is like after buffs. And this is the after round. I took another look at the buffs just to remind myself of what was what. Yeah, in addition to piercing on the beam cannon, it got slightly improved stats for a lot of its weapons, extra equip slots, but most interestingly to me, the incendiary grenades are pretty well, or missiles were overhauled. They now do 1,500 apiece instead of 1,000, and got increased incendiary damage. So that is a pretty substantial set of buffs to that one weapon. So we'll have to see how that goes, but yeah, so far so good. I'm going to have to try this for myself. I always did like it. This, just Colony Drop Site, is one of those maps that I either have really great or really terrible rounds on. It's another one where people like to run in circles at the beginning, like Arctic Base and one of the space maps I tried to play the other day, and just had the exact same problem, which is that everybody else is generally better at running in circle than I am, and so I'm the last one in line and get myself murdered. So that is just the nature of the game. And let's see, good stop there on that overon, but not quite enough, but hey, the team is here, and that's the important part, because, yeah. Okay, Overon is down, Grimoire is over. That is a, yeah, that is a good place to be, especially as a raid. Speaking of raids, actually, no, that was the Violent Custom Unit 2, so, yeah, that was a good thing to, you know, be rid of before it could do too much damage, but yeah, it is a support, so it's not going to be, it's not as, you know, disastrous to be face to face with for demo as the original Violent Custom would be. So, okay, looks like 300 damage a tick for the incendiaries. At least there was a 300 that popped up before the iframes came up, because yeah, the you know, the how do I describe it? The incendiary damage keeps going through the iframes. It just ticks zeros. If the ticks outlast the iframes, I believe the damage picks back up. But yeah, I'd like to get the Overon. I don't have it yet, and it definitely can be scary in most circumstances. Also, that Grimoire skill is just really kind of, you know, difficult to deal with if you're in something that already isn't very fast. Like, just the fact that it slows your melee attack pattern just gets downright funny. You know, imagine a giant robot trying to swing a sword while wading through oatmeal. That's cold oatmeal at that. But just, yeah, it's really a pretty handy skill and just funny to see, too. Yes, 300 per tick. Not bad. I think I mentioned before, incendiary missiles do not... The incendiary damage is basically its own debuff. They do not overlap. You cannot have multiple ticks of... or multiple stacks of incendiary damage at once. They basically just, you know, once the effect is on, the effect is on. Good counter. Nice. Yeah, and that is a definite kill there. And yeah, so basically that's one good thing about, you know, the increased just flat damage on those is the fact that, yeah, you are getting, you know, more damage, and it doesn't matter how well the fire does or not. There are, of course, parts that I believe can... I know there's ones that can prolong the incendiary damage and get you a couple extra ticks. I believe there are ones that actually up the damage itself, too. I think that was one of the custom parts that came out in the gacha a while back. I've said it before, I really would like to see those make it into the recycle ticket store a little bit more often. You know, they've been doing extra gachas like they are this week for some of them. That new beam armor can be really handy under the right circumstances. But yeah, it's just, you know, I really would like to see more ways for free-to-play players to get that. The good news is you can kind of emulate that effect using the modification hanger, but also I'm pretty sure those effects are stackable, so that's only going to take you so far. But man, if if they can stack, that should mean that I think with the right hanger buffs, you could get a beam defense of 80. Man, if you stacked that on something that has anti-beam coating on top of it, that could be really interesting. Of course, it has to have enough slots to take advantage of all those things at once, and that can be a problem. So, I am enjoying the modification hanger. It is definitely made for more interesting builds for some things. I have my Gym Sniper 2 set up with like a tremendous amount of turning speed and extra ASL, which I think the new rifle can take advantage of. I'm not 100% sure. Possibly not. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. And I remember saying with the prototype Double Zeta, I got a build I particularly liked and wanted to get the level 5 of that skill instead of the level 3. I got it, so I'm going to have to take that out again sometime and see how it does. But let's see. So far, fairly even scores. Couple of minutes left. Definitely there are raids that are a little bit more taxing on this map, I think, than there were previously. And just like I said, for whatever reason, I just have a harder time with this map in general. So that might just be me. But yeah, the fights just tend to be like really rough here, one way or the other. Okay, good kill there. And, a few more deaths here and there, but Demo definitely has not been hurting for kills, so. Let's see. Yep, about 90 seconds left. 3,000 point lead, which this cost not huge, but something. I mean, a lead is a lead when you get to the last second, so. And this is enough of a lead that it's going to take a lot of work for the enemy team to catch up. Granted, Demo's the only one at full health, but for one thing, they just got somebody else, so again, just expanding that is good. In a way, just getting people like near the very end of the round can be a problem when you're trying to catch up, because once you're past, I think, about the 45-second mark, the like dominating the field bonus that the team with slower score gets if you haven't spawned in, that just goes away. That there's not time for it to activate. So if you have a disadvantage in the last 30 seconds and have managed to kill everything on the map, you've you may not have any way to make up your score. Of course, it's always been fun in the past when you get to that point and you manage to take a checkpoint and win the match. I've done that a couple of times. That's fun. As it is, people are spawning back in. They have a very very slight lead, enough that all they really need to do is play defense for the next 10 seconds. So when Demo gets back in, he will probably have time to fire one shot. Looks like somebody did, I think, capture another point just to try and make up that score difference. But in this case, it was not quite enough. It was really close, though. But good round for Demo and his team. Let's take a look. Top damage at 118,000. Looks like, I think that's the Jan Faven that got top score. 4 and 4. Yeah, looks pretty good. So thank you for sending these my way, Demo. And that is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We'll be back soon with more. So till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later. Okay, so the overall buffs, the level 1 went from 17,500 hit points to 19,000. It got an extra close range slot, went from 12 to 13. One extra mid range slot from 17 to 18, and 2 long range slots, 15 to 17. The mid range beam cannon, which, the shoulder cannon, those pierce now. The weapon switching time is now shorter. Like I said, the missiles went from 1,000 to 1,500 damage each. The incendiary damage went up. I'm not sure whether it went from 200 to 300 or more ticks, but one of those two for sure. Reload time shortened from 22 seconds to 15. The shoulder grenade launcher, the damage per grenade went from 400 to 500, with the upper level also getting an increase. The railgun on the beam rifle was increased only for the level 2, which is the 650, so Demo had the default, whatever it is. And it went from 1,900 to 2,000, so yeah, that's about where that was. Okay, so at 600, the average win rate for supports is 50.8% across all supports. The Hyaku Shiki Kai ground type had 47%. It now has 51% after having the buffs for a month, so yeah, that's within expectations. Rival win rate was 49.8%. Average, 49.8%. 43.6% is what the ground type was getting, and it's now doing 53.1%, so that's definitely an improvement. Average support damage, 80,393. It was doing 69,027, and now it's doing 92,339. So yeah, definitely doing better. MS lost, average is 3.2. It was doing 3.3. Now it's doing 3.1. So yeah, at 600, it looks like it's doing fairly well. So definitely going to have to give that a try. I got stuck between saying give that a try and take that out, and almost said give that a trout, which I don't know what a mobile suit would even do with that. At 650, the level 2, average across supports 50.7%. Level 2 was at 47.2 before buffs. After buffs, 50.4. So, yeah, pretty much within range. Rival wins, average is 49.8 for supports at 650 as well. It was at 39.1. It's now at 52.4. So yeah, definite difference. Damage dealt, average across supports at 650, 89,000. It was at 68,709. It's now at 99,500. So yeah, definite improvement there. And interestingly, MS loss is average across supports 3.1. It was at 3.2, and it's still at 3.2. So no change on that front, but definitely, definitely doing better in all the other spots. So I'd say that's a pretty successful set of buffs.